After 2 years, it finally happened to me. Yep, you guessed it, I got to play test Apex Legends Season 16 Revelry. For me, this was a huge milestone in my career, and it's something that I've been hoping, dreaming, and wanting to do for some time now. So, we're going to go over that today. In-depth overview of all of the different areas of changes. The range, classes and perks, legend meta, weapon meta, and all the game modes. Now, I'm sure you've heard quite a bit about what is going to be coming to Season 16, but we're going to show you what is coming to Season 16. First up on our stop is going to be the firing range. Whether you're someone who's brand new to the game or someone who's been playing since day one and trying to improve your aim or mechanics in general, I think there's something in these changes for you. If you go into the settings normally, you'll look in there and see a brand new tab, Customize Range. This is what we're going to focus most of our time on because this is really where the major changes happen. The first setting you're going to see is Dynamic Stats. Now, this is just on and off, and when you turn it on, there are 5 different areas that you can track stats while in the range. Your shots, damage, headshots, kills, and overall accuracy. Next up is Infinite Weapon Reloads. Now, this one is probably pretty straightforward, but it means you have unlimited ammo. Just like when you drop into Control, or you're in any other TDM mode, you have infinite ammo, you can reload as much as you want, and you do not have to go back to the weapon stacks. You also have hit markers, which is pretty straightforward. It just shows you specifically where the bullets hit on the dummies. It will show you body shot, headshot, and remain for a few seconds after you shoot. Last in the general settings is target speed. You can change all of the targets around that are moving from crouch walk, which is very slow, to walk, run, and zip line, which is very fast. The second set of settings you'll see is dummy movement. The first one is stay still, and I mean, that's self-explanatory. Strafe left and right, also self-explanatory, and then strafe speed. This is the one that you'll probably care about the most. You can have them on 3 different settings between walk, run, and random. Lastly, we have the dummy settings. And the first one is probably the most important option in here. It's the shield level. You have common, rare, epic, and mythic options, which translates to white, blue, purple, and red shields, essentially allowing you to decide how much damage you want to have to deal to the dummy before it's eliminated. Next up, have more to do with movement, which is can stand, can crouch, and then moving in random intervals. So now we've gotten our feet wet. We took a look into the firing range and through the settings, but where's the next logical place to go? Well, I always change my legend. And what's the biggest change to the legends? We've got remastered legend classes. So we're going to go through each of those: Assault, Skirmisher, Recon, Controller, and Support. And honestly, the biggest thing, sure, we've all heard about it, but what does it actually look like? Well, I'm going to show you. The Assault class is first up. It includes legends such as Bangalore, Revenant, Fuse, Ash, and Mad Maggie. The perks are that they can open up red supply bins. Now, just like Lifeline in the past with the blue supply bins, Assault Legends can open red supply bins, which will give weapon attachment upgrades. Now, my first thought went to, how good are these red supply bins? In my limited experience, I noticed that it generally gave me something that I needed. The other perk for the Assault class is that you can carry extra ammo stacks. For light, heavy, and energy, this is an additional 20, and sniper and shotgun, you gain an extra half stack. So what does this actually mean conceptually? Normally, you're only able to carry 60 light ammo. If an Assault Legend were to be carrying a full stack of ammo, it now holds up to 80. The Skirmisher class has legends such as Pathfinder, Wraith, Mirage, Octane, Horizon, and Valkyrie. Now, the Skirmishers can see the highest value item in a care package even before it lands. So as soon as you see the care package dropping down, you can ping the care package and immediately get informed on what the highest value item is. This is a little bit different from Loba because it's very hard to see the items in there as Loba. However, if you're somewhat close, you can. Immediately as you ping it with the Skirmisher class, you're able to see what's in the care pack. The new Recon class. Now, this includes some familiar legends from before, which are Bloodhound, Crypto, Seer, and Vantage. The perks are that you can scan REWORK survey beacons. Survey beacons now reveal player locations similar to the map rooms in the past. Looking at you, Crypto's map room. The Controller class includes legends that you'd probably expect. I mean, they're legends that control the flow of the game, such as Caustic, Rampart, Watson, and Catalyst. Their perks are that they can scan ring consoles. Now, ring consoles function like the old survey beacon, which shows the next ring position. The ring consoles look quite different from a survey beacon, so they're pretty hard to miss. That being said, though, this is honestly a very fitting pick for this specific class. I mean, these are the types of legends that want to play for in circle and get their team in advantageous position to win the game. The last class, and certainly not least, is the support class. This is my personal favorite class. It includes legends like Lifeline, Loba, Gibraltar, and Newcastle. The perks of this class are that they can open blue supply bins. Now, I touched on this a little bit previously, but the entire class has the ability to open these blue bins that give health and survival items. The last perk, but certainly not the least perk, is that they can go up to a replicator and craft respawn banners. Now, this can be done after a card is even timed out, or it can be done while the card is still active. It allows you to choose and make decisions whether or not you go for the banner directly or just go and find a replicator. To me, this shifts the way completely that the game is played in the flow of a match. Oh, and by the way, it's only 30 crafting materials. So where better to go next than to the legend meta? I mean, let's go through each of the legend changes, demonstrate it, and discuss a little bit about how this will be impacted by the new class system. I think the best way to go through the legend meta is to discuss it by class. And first up, we've got the recon class. Bloodhound got some changes. Bloodhound's passive now has a white raven feature. The white ravens lead you to the enemies and charge your abilities. The tactical has no change, and the ultimate no longer has a flat tactical cooldown reduction. It now uses white ravens, an enhanced passive to reduce the cooldowns and lead you into the fight. While Bloodhound had some reworks to get away from this scan dependency, Seer directly had nerfs to get away from the scan dependency. The passive now takes 2 seconds to charge when drawn, is also louder and gives a Q to the enemy, and the pulse itself is less frequent. You may have noticed this in game already. I think they may have pushed this update a little bit early, but it's not to say that it might not get a little bit louder with Season 16. The ultimate cooldown increased from 2 minutes to 3 minutes, and its duration is decreased from 30 seconds to 25 seconds. An overall nerf to the entire ultimate for Seer. This next legend belongs to the support class, and there's only one legend that got a change in this class, which is Lifeline. Lifeline's ultimate, the care package, drops 2.5 times faster, which allows you to get better gear and then quickly rotate out of the area before enemies know your position. The other portion of her kit that has a change is her passive. The initial res press has a reduced slow time. Now, I didn't get any footage of this, but basically the way it works is when you choose to resurrect your teammate, you're no longer slowed as much and can get back to normal movement or fluidity quicker. And finally, we have our skirmisher class. This is the class with the most changes overall. And first up, we've got none other than Pathfinder. Pathfinder's ultimate length doubled in size and speed was significantly increased. It's important to note that this is for everyone, not just Pathfinder. Path Zip was also updated a little bit visually, so it's going to look slightly different in game. Pathfinder's passive was changed to reveal care package contents to fit the skirmisher class. So it's no longer scanning recon beacons, it's more so pinging the contents of a care package will reduce the cooldown on his zipline gun. Next up, we've got Wraith. Now, Wraith had one specific piece of her kit change, and that's the ultimate. The ultimate length doubled in size. And Wraith's movement speed was increased as she travels through her ultimate. The further you go past 75 meters, increases the speed gradually, leading to the largest base speed boost of any legend. This next one might not be much of a surprise to most of you. I mean, we kind of had it teased or leaked or whatever you want to call it in Season 15 when Horizon had that shadow nerf. Horizon's accuracy on lift significantly is decreased, and the lift speed is increased. Lift speed seems to be about 2.5 seconds less than the current build. And lastly, the ultimate no longer pulls through structures. Before, you could throw it on the side of a building and it would pull the enemy into the wall. Now, when it's thrown on the other side of the structure, even if you are in the radius, you will not be pulled into the wall and you can move normally. And the last one we have on the list is my personal favorite and one that I actually spent way too much time playtesting. I got lost in the sauce, I gotta say it. Playing Mirage, played him for over an hour during a limited playtest, and man, I can't wait to share these with you because honestly, he's just so much fun. So first and foremost, any time that an enemy is bamboozled, whether it be your tactical or your ultimate, you will be able to see for about 3 seconds where they are moving with the icon above their head that continues to track them. And then lastly is the passive change. Reviving teammates cloaks both you and them for 3 seconds after the res. The cloak can be canceled at any time by drawing a weapon. Where to next? Well, this next stop is the weapon meta. New weapons, changes to the loot pool, changes to the weapons themselves and their attachments. The list goes on, and I'm excited to show you what it looks like in Season 16. All right, let's get into this because I mean, I can't wait any longer. This is easily the highlight of Season 16. Nemesis Burst Assault Rifle. I mean, a brand new weapon, you would hope it would be the highlight. I need to put a massive disclaimer on this. This gun is extremely strong. I will not be surprised if it gets nerfed fairly quickly. That being said, if you run into an enemy team, all three running it, be prepared to be shredded. It is that good. So disclaimer, forewarned, I let you guys know right now. It is a 4-burst energy AR. Its mag size is 20 base, 24 with a white mag, 28 with a blue mag, and 32 with a purple mag. The damage is 13 to the limb, 17 to the body, and 24 to the head. Lastly is the overcharge mechanic. When constantly firing, it builds a charge that increases the firing rate. At 100% charge, it turns the Nemesis into a near full auto rifle. Next up are the assault rifles. There was some changes to every single one of them in one shape or form. First up is the Hemlock, and the Hemlock receives a super buff and is moved into the care package. Some of you guys might remember the Hemlock meta a few seasons back, and this gun is extremely strong, fun to use, and I can't wait to get this in the care package. The R301 had a slight damage reduction. This is something that has been the bread and butter for so many people, and it's damage reduced from 14 to 13. Across the board, all AR hipfires have been increased in the spread. This makes close quarters combat more dominant by SMGs and shotguns, and is going to be interesting to see how people will have to adjust their loadouts. This leads me to my next segment, and that's the shotguns. The shotguns had some changes that make them almost a must-use in my opinion. I think they're going to be very fun, and there's something for everyone. All shotguns pellet sizes were increased, and this is to ensure a more consistent experience when using the shotguns. Let's be real, we've all been known to hit for 9s and 7s with the Mastiff and the Peacekeeper, and boy is it embarrassing. If you want to see embarrassing, you can come by and check out my Twitch channel. I'm live every single day except for Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, and you can see me whiff live. Maybe not anymore once Season 16 starts. Mastiff and Peacekeeper now take stocks. It increases the reload speed and the rate of fire. Lastly, there's the introduction of the gold shotgun bolt. This acts like a stronger kinetic feeder, which does things like allows you to slide to reload. Last up, we've got the LMGs. There's really only one thing to discuss here, and that's the Rampage, which will return to the ground loot since the Hemlock went in. It's going to be reverted to its base stats from before it was in the care package, and it's no longer charged when you pick it up, so on and so forth. You get the idea. This last section we're going to discuss are the game modes. Now, for me as a content creator, I'm extremely excited because it means fresh content, or at least rotating content to keep things fresh. And I think everyone can be excited about this because whether you're wanting to play the game casually or play it seriously, you have somewhere to relax or do something different from the core and base game. Now, we're going to go through all of these different game modes in detail, but one thing I do want to note before we go forward is that we're going to have a full gameplay video in about an hour from this video being released on the TDM, just going in and showing you guys exactly what it looks like so you can experience it. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because you're going to want to see what it actually looks like in the gameplay. First up, we've got TDM. It's 6v6, 2 teams against each other. The first to 60 total eliminations wins. Each round is cut off at 30 eliminations. The third round is going to be overtime. So if each team has 30 eliminations at the end of the first 2 rounds, it will go into overtime, and the winner of the final round is the winner of the TDM match. You select your loadout similar to Control and Winter Express. You have the ability to adjust your optics, and it rotates on a round basis. So each time you have a new round, it's going to have some changes to what the loadouts will look like. The main maps that we were able to play were Skulltown, Party Crasher, and Habitat. Now, some of you probably already know these from arenas. It looks like they're going to actually have some things kept over from arenas, which I personally love. Just because they're going to be getting rid of our arenas, it doesn't mean that we're going to be done with all of the details that many of us have come to love. TDM will run for the first 3 weeks before Mixtape is introduced. After that 3-week time period, we're going to get Mixtape, and that leads me to my next section. Mixtape is going to be 3 modes permanently rotating every 15 minutes. We've got TDM, Control, and Gun Run. New maps for these modes could be introduced in the future. And something you might want to note, these 3 modes aren't set. There's a chance they could release a new mode and add it to Mixtape. Now for my last topic that I want to discuss, and that's the ranked game mode. Ranked for the longest time has been 1 map per split. It's going to be retired. The map now rotates every 24 hours. And this first split is going to be Broken Moon, Storm Point, and World's Edge. For many of you rank grinders out there, I know what you're wondering. Is that it? Are there changes to the system? And the simple answer is no. In a question posed to the dev team, the response was that they wanted to start with the map changes first and that they aren't going to rule out making changes to the system in the future. It's just like in science. You take one variable, make an adjustment, and then see how it plays out. I think that's the dev's formula for the ranked playlist, and I'm excited to see what they do in the future. I really think it's promising, and I'm personally excited to jump into ranked and see how this changes things. Overall, I have extremely high hopes for Revelry. I mean, this season could be something special, and I hope many of you receive it that way too, because it came through for me. During the playtest, I spent so much time in there playing, as well as many of the other people who were invited, and we could not get enough of it. Many of us used almost the full time that we had allotted. That being said, I want to take you guys back a little bit, and maybe this is a bit of nostalgia talking, but I think it explains the point that I'm trying to make. I remember way back when this was not even released to the public yet, I was watching Dr. Lupo play the game, and they just seemed like they were having so much fun. It felt like this game that was going to draw me in, and I just wanted to play for hours and hours. They were exploring the mechanics and getting used to how things worked in this new battle royale. For me, I was instantly encapsulated. I played it from then forward, as soon as I was able to get my hands on it. For a long time now, many of us have been feeling like, well, where's the content? Especially as a content creator, things don't feel as fresh anymore. Well, I think that's my main message I would give to you guys. This will feel fresh. It is as simple as that. It may not be drastic changes to things like servers or audio or things like that, but the main thing that I see people talk about is that they want new, fresh content to make the game feel new again for them. Personally, I feel like they captured just that, and I hope you guys enjoy and feel that freshness and newness. Whether you're a new player or someone who's been playing since day one like me, I think there's something for everyone. So jump in there, enjoy it, and stay tuned later for my TDM gameplay.